At least 23 people have been killed and 39 injured in a stampede at a train station during morning rush hour in Indian financial hub of Mumbai. The deadly stampede happened around 10:30 a.m. local time Friday on a footbridge at Prabhadevi train station, formerly known as Elphinstone Station. Another spokesman, Ravindir Bakar, said the number of people on the bridge was higher than usual because people were using the station to shelter from the rain. A Mumbai police official, Gadam Patel, said the stampede was triggered by falling concrete that struck a bridge railing, leading to fears that the bridge could collapse. Indian TV channels showed the injured lying on the ground with people trying to revive some by pumping their chests and carrying the wounded down into the street. Videos posted on Twitter showed lifeless bodies on the station floor, while others screamed and clung on the outside railing. According to officials, around 6:30 p.m. on Friday, Amtrak police deployed a taser on a man within the station. The sound of the stun gun was mistaken as gunfire, according to Chief William Morris. And crowds began to push away from the scene, leaving behind bags and other personal belongings in a panic.
Everyone just started screaming, and we didn't know what was going on, so I just took them and ran to the back of the store, and we jumped over the counter at Nathan's and just hid in one of the storage rooms, and they had us just stay back there because I was with them and another little girl that could.
No real gunshots were actually fired, but the pandemonium resulted in the injury of at least 16 people. The train station was particularly crowded due to delays on a New Jersey transit train and the evening rush hour ahead of the holiday weekend.
Designing and planning public spaces, such as transport terminals, airports, malls, and stadiums are becoming more challenging nowadays because of the increasing need to support large volumes of people that exhibit different behavior and perform unconventional activities. It involves securing the safety of the people inside and the near area. In the Philippines, Metro Rail Transit has an average of 560,000 passengers daily, from 244 million passengers in 2004 to 415.5 million passengers in 2012. The passenger traffic in MRT stations increased by 71% in just a span of 8 years. Aside from the increasing number of passengers, other contributing factors include its physical layout and various passenger behaviors. Thus, with the increasing instances of overcrowding in MRT3's terminal and high-volume stations and interchanges, the Department of Transportation (DOTR) has been trying out different crowd control schemes to decrease overcrowding. Crowd dynamics is the study of how and where crowds form and move as the density of the crowd increases. This involves modeling, simulating, and understanding the movements of individuals. Through knowing and predicting the movement of commuters, how they use the space and their activities in the train stations, it will be easier to plan effective crowd control schemes or floor layouts that could lessen crowd traffic. Currently, only an actual implementation of the plan can DOTC evaluate the effectiveness of a crowd control scheme. But through simulations, visualizing and understanding the crowd dynamics is easier since it offers a unique environment to test plans realistically by incorporating diverse traffic scenarios and human behavior. Overcrowding in mass rapid transit stations is a chronic issue affecting the daily commute in Metro Manila, Philippines. As a high-capacity public transportation, the Metro Rail Transit has been operating at a level above its intended capacity of 350,000 passengers daily. Despite numerous efforts in implementing an effective crowd control scheme, it still falls short in containing the formation of crowd and long lines, thus affecting the amount of time before they can proceed to the platform.
The negative effects of crowds may be more than service delays and unhappy passengers. Crowding can also lead to injuries, anything from minor slips and trips to more serious incidents at pitch point at the platform edge. Here are the key considerations when preparing to manage crowds at stations. The first one is know your crowd. Do you understand the crowd you are attempting to direct and control? Why do individuals and crowds behave the way they do? If you understand the reason for a crowd's behavior, you will be better equipped to control it safely. There is a wide range of factors that will influence people's behavior. Some factors are linked to fixed aspects of the station like signage, platforms, and so on. However, there are factors that are flexible and can be influenced by the action of station stops. Physical layout. Are there obstructions, gates, or barriers in the passenger routes? Are there narrow passages or entrances to slow the passengers down? Are there awkward staircases or escalators to negotiate? Are the platforms and concourse areas big enough to accommodate the expected crowds? Operating environment. What effect can hot days, rain, snow, and ice have on station operation? Are ticket sales, collection and checking facilities sufficient to cope in crowded conditions? Can you control station access safely? How do people arrive? Do timetable gaps create problems? Crowd flow. Where are the pinch points in crowd flows? Where are the crowd flow conflict areas? What peaks are there in crowd flow and when? Where do your passengers gather in groups? What trespass opportunities are available?
Plan ahead. Good planning will help you prevent many of the problems caused by station crowding. When preparing your crowd management plan, you should consider the actual capacity of the stations and train service, estimate capacity of breathing spaces, corridors, escalators, lifts, and trains. By combining this with the train timetable, you can measure the total passenger capacity of the station. The passenger number expected through the station. How many passengers are you expecting? For example, this may be a proportion of attendees at a nearby sports or music events or evidence obtained from research of rush hour crowd. Any extra spaces required over and above existing facilities. If you are comparing the capacity and expected numbers, you need to arrange for extra space. For example, temporary use of car parks, public spaces at the front of stations. Staff deployment. How many staff do you need to manage the expected crowds? Where should you deploy them? What skills and competencies do they need? What training and preparation do they require? Provision information. What do you need to tell passengers in crowded conditions? How does this differ from normal operation? For example, you may need to give passengers frequent reminders to stand back from the platform edge. The involvement of other agencies and stakeholders. Who else will assisting you in managing crowds in your station? Have they been informed of your plans? What is their exact role and does this change in different situations? Who has authority, previous experience at this and similar stations? What can you learn from crowd management situation at the other stations or previous incidents at your own stations? Emergency plans. If an emergency occurs, how are you going to deal with it in a crowded environment? How might this differ from established emergency procedures? Check your plans. Before applying the plans, in a situation, carry out and send check of your plans with station.
Use your staff effectively. Effective use of staff is very important in managing crowds. Station staff can be used to monitor, control, communicate with the crowd. An effective training program should include both initial refresher training. Your training program should consider how to monitor crowd density. There are visual cues can use to judge crowd density, and therefore select appropriate action. How to communicate effectively. Communication between your staff is one of the most important elements of the successfully managed crowd event. This is important before, during, the after event. Training should include communication skills, whether face-to-face via radios to telephones. Understanding the roles of others. An important part of preparing your staff is in securing the understand the roles of others. Lack of understanding between staff from different stakeholders operating in station can lead to delayed, inefficient, or ineffective decision. These stakeholders could include station staff, police, train, drivers, franchise retailers, and staff from the transport modes. How to use equipment. The technology system in your station are only effective if your operators know how to use them. Such system could include CCTV, customer information systems such as public address and dynamic signage, radio telephone communication, automatic guidelines. You should ensure the staff selection training, assessment, and job design are appropriate for system in use. The benefits of technology. The use of technology such as crowd flow, computer modeling, CCTV, and centralized station control system can contribute to safe crowd management. Before selecting and using new technology to help you manage crowds, you should carry on the operational review of the option. This should assess the system will work individually and together. To example discuss. Here are the effective use to closed circuit television, CCTV in getting the best result from crowd flow modeling. CCTV. To get the best form of CCTV system, you need to think about its application from two perspectives, the capabilities of operator and system design.
5. Directing the crowd flow. Appropriate wayfinding can provide people with more confidence in their movement and encourage a crowd to move in a more positive manner. In order to judge the success of your wayfinding information, consider the following basic question: why, who, what, how, where, and when. Why are you giving wayfinding information? Consider your motives for directing the crowd flow. For example, to get passengers on board trains, to minimize the build-up of crowds, to minimize safety risks at the platform edge or pinch points, to accommodate operational changes. Your passengers have their own needs from wayfinding information. Orientation, where am I? Route decision, how do I get to where I want to be? Route monitoring, am I going the right way? Destination recognized, have I arrived in the right place? Who uses that information? Wayfinding information is not just useful for the passenger. Other users could include emergency services, friends and family meeting passengers, staff unfamiliar with the station layout, other stakeholders such as maintenance staff and retailers. Ensure that their needs are also considered in the wayfinding design. What and how? There are several ways in which you can give wayfinding information. Electronic displays, fixed sign both permanent and temporary, spoken message via PA or face-to-face with staff. Which method you choose and what information you show is dependent on the situation and location. However, all wayfinding information should be clear, accurate, consistent. Where? There is a wide range of location in which you can provide information to prepare and guide the passenger, both inside and outside the station. Inside the station, consider where your passengers need to make decision on their route. For example, in concourse area at information displays, at corridor junctions, stairs, escalator, lift, at ticket window and machine. On platforms for alighting passengers. When you give wayfinding information to a crowd is important. Should you have to redirect crowd flow, you should tell passengers as soon as possible. For example, last moment platform changes should be avoided wherever possible.
Shinjuku Station is the gateway to the city of Tokyo. In terms of passenger numbers, it is the busiest station around the world. 3 million people pass through here each and every day. Such number pose an immense logistical challenge because the crowd's flow has to be constant and unimpeded. Preventing panic and chaos is the top priority. This is the RTRI, or the Railway Technical Research Institution, on the outskirts of Tokyo. This public-private research center is instrumental shaping Japanese transport policy. The challenges facing public transport in Japan have changed over time. Managing large crowds of people in train station is the topic of the moment. Noritomi researches how crowd behaves in Japanese station using a specially created simulation program. He is able to analyze the behavior of crowds. The program allows him to see where the bottlenecks are. The simulation shows how building features such as additional stairs or escalators could improve crowd movements. So first of all, you need to collect the data you have on how many people are in the station at any given time. More importantly, the computer needs to know on how they are moving. The program then uses this data to construct a simulation. The tricky part is using the simulation to predict how the crowd behavior might change in response to additional features inside the station. So according to Noritomi, he calculates the number of people per square meter and how quickly they move depending on the density of people. Problems arise where the stream of people try to cross one another. The flow of the crowd is slowed down as a result. The scientist has already received inquiries about his work from the city of Mecca. Authorities there are also want to use his simulation to ensure that things run smoothly. People need to move a steady pace. Those who are unable to move with the crowd are a disruptive factor. Special measures are needed to integrate partially sighted people into the crowd. Train station and other public places carry special marking intended to help them. So RTRI is working on a talking navigation system to help blind people to find their way around such places. These yellow markers are studded with electronic chips which communicate with sensors at the tip of the cane. This data is then transmitted to a mobile phone and converted into spoken directions. When a person says their desired destination, the system creates a route to guide them there. This new direction finding system is to be reconfigured so that it may be used by the fully sighted people. After all, Tokyo's train network is a real challenge for even the most experienced of commuters.
Image acquisition. A video camera feed continuously records the activities that happen in the compartments respectively. This camera is placed in a strategic position at one of the ends of the compartment so that it monitors the rate of people in the compartment every time train stops and resumes motion again. When it crosses a particular pre-marked point before entering the next station, the image is captured. The main reason for the displacement is to cover area where people are most likely to stand wait in the train. Snapshots can be taken every time in the train resumes motion, as this is just to estimate the rough capacity of the compartment. The camera used for image acquisition can be simple VGA cameras that can take snaps at 640 to 480 resolution and capture video at 30 frames per second. The reason for the lesser resolution is reflected in the simplicity of hardware required to process the image and also the lesser time required for execution of this image. Since the event manager follows an FIFO method, the compartment which crosses the pre-marked position first will be recaptured. The process and subsequently will be done for other compartments. Image processing. There will be a video camera running covering the compartment every time the train halts and resumes motions again. The video camera captures the image of the compartment. There are cases wherein people learn to climb in compartments that are overcrowded, and hence the inaccuracy of the camera in capturing the density of persons in the image. Thus, to overcome this drawback, the camera is made to capture multiple images at fixed delays and makes use the latest image, that is the last known image. By using a Kenny edge detection method in image processing, we can edge out people in the compartment, thus finding how densely this compartment is occupied. This information can allow people to occupy the compartment in the next stop. With the help of the comparison table proximity module, we can compare the capacity of the compartment and accordingly notify the passengers waiting in the consecutive stops.
The recent creation of the mass transit system due to the several reasons such as traveling convenience, avoiding the traffic during peak hours, as well as being cost efficient. Due to the hike in the usage, this is transport, there is a problem in the inefficient accommodation of the passenger traveling due to the lack of time to get into compartment which is empty. This paper is aimed to solve the problem crowd management in order to cater to the needs of passenger the traveling inconvenience system. Certain modern metro coaches have the facility change compartment which while it is motion, but most of the coaches do not permit this is a situation. Scenario: consider the number of people present inside the train and the number of people waiting board. Train should manage effectively in order to avoid overcrowding, and the paper aims to having camera in each coach which consistently monitor the coach and also capture image every time the train in motion after waiting in the situation. After which it calculates average number of passenger on the basis of pixel density of the image and terribly notifies the passenger subsequent stop on the which compartment to get in the task. This method created the focus on proximity and estimate to the being crowd, bring down the complexity of the crowd in order to manage movement of the crowd. At each layover, the other crowd control system used to continuous the video capture which read the movement of the people accordingly, and so there is more focus on reading the movement of people rather using it to reduce congestion of the people during journey. Consider a scenario where the security needs cannot be negated and most of the current crowdsourcing system have a policy by just calculating number of people waiting the train, not people who are ready to present in the train, and hence even though they are consistently monitoring the data is not put into proper use. This terribly solved problem of any compartment being overcrowded or empty. The passenger can be notified via app or through information display in the